Hello everyone, and welcome to this Uska News Water News video podcast. In November 2016, the first Global Water Stewardship Forum met in Scotland, the Hydro Nation, convened by the Alliance for Water Stewardship. Experts from more than 20 countries met in sunny Edinburgh for 2 full days with representatives from governments, large and small corporations, NGOs, finance and civil society. The forum was designed to advance global understanding and impacts of water stewardship and contribute to the further development of the global AWS Water Stewardship Standard. Uska News reported on the forum, and I had an opportunity to speak to several key participants. Kemi Seesink, welcome to Edinburgh and to the forum. Can you take a moment to tell our viewers about yourself? Who are you and what brings you to Edinburgh this week?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this morning. My background is in water management, some natural resource management, and at this point in my career, I'm working as a Director of Development at CARE USA at our headquarters in Atlanta. CARE has been engaging with the Alliance for Water Stewardship. We found it a very exciting platform to both learn from as well as contribute to, and we were excited to have the opportunity to engage here at the forum here in Edinburgh.
And tell our viewers who may not be familiar, what is CARE? What does CARE do?
Well, CARE is an international NGO that works across the spectrum of poverty fighting and poverty reduction initiatives, from humanitarian to combating food security and poverty, which we view as an injustice in all its forms. And we have a particular focus on gender, women's empowerment in particular, working with local communities to identify the solutions that we believe women and girl children should be at the center of, and are very well equipped to be part of the solutions they identify as well. So we take great pride in the fact that we are able to be represented in over 80 countries around the world, but working at all levels with communities to jointly identify problems and solve them in partnership with members of those communities.
This gathering this week has brought together representatives from the private sector, water users, water resource managers, civil society, governments. Where do NGOs fit into this family of people who care about water stewardship?
I think that NGOs, non-governmental organizations, have a key role to play as one of the partners. I think this pathway that AWS are setting forth is composed of many bricks, and you've mentioned private sector, you've mentioned water users, and as NGOs we find ourselves playing an important role, but I use the analogy of bricks because we are part of a larger matrix. Within this matrix, we are sometimes an implementer, we are sometimes a co-designer, and sometimes we are able to help inform policy and practice. I hope, and which is where I think the AWS Forum and the process itself allows NGOs to bring their comparative advantage, is that we also need to be shaped and improved and informed by such a process. And this platform that AWS provides allowed for that cross-learning. Across our work as NGOs, I think that there's a growing recognition that there is no one single entity that's more important than the other in trying to arrive at water management and water stewardship solutions. So I think that we play a role almost as one of the pillars in helping hold up the roof, if you'd call it, or the house of water stewardship. And the other pillars certainly include the public sector. They also include the private sector. And by working together, then we really are able to hold this roof up, this very much needed structure that's required.
We're now on day 2 of this 2-day event. What's been the highlight for you so far?
Oh, there have been many highlights. I came in learning mode. I was very very excited to be here and expressed to many of the people who I either met for the first time. It was a great opportunity to see old faces with a new enthusiasm for this topic. Some of the highlights, though, has been learning about why we are here in Scotland, realizing, at least for myself as a participant, that this is no accidental choice, that Scotland is actually positioning itself, quite rightly so, as a hydro nation, and for me to learn a little bit more about that agenda and what that poses for us as a global community. In terms of beyond the location, learning a little bit more about how the standard and the process of developing the standard as well as implementing the standard helps us align with the other international water management initiatives that's already in existence. I'm a big fan of harmonization of such processes. Within the standard and implementation of the standard itself, I found it very instrumental to learn about how this is actually being rolled out at the site level. This forum has been a great opportunity for us to learn from the members and to have vivid illustrations from the regional initiatives and to learn about some of the challenges, but even more excitingly about the unique ways in which they've partnered at the regional level and infuse that with a local flavour and a local marshalling of talents and partnerships to achieve water stewardship in those regions. So in summary, for me, it's been about the international agenda, such as set forward in the Hydro Nation objectives, as well as the regional alliances that we should also be aligned with, and some of the very concrete regional examples.
And you're a board member of the Alliance?
Yes, I am. I'm currently an interim board member. I was very pleased to be invited and very honoured to join the interim board of AWS earlier this year, so I've only been able to serve on the board for a few months. And as we move on from later this week with having the new board confirmed, I'm very happy to be asked to continue and to be able to play, I hope, an increasingly greater role in both understanding as well as achieving an ambitious work plan and supporting the Secretariat in designing and achieving its work plan over the next few years.
When the Scottish Government representative was conducting some questions yesterday and talking about hydronation, you mentioned that you thought a particular priority should be the attention to the next generation of water stewards, to getting the message, to educating at primary, secondary and tertiary level those who will be the stewards of our planet's water resources when we're all gone. Could you speak further to that, please?
Oh, absolutely, thank you. Well, I thought, first of all, I raised that question because a number of very pertinent and very important examples were provided. And I think the examples provided to us showed the level of expertise and the objectives around the educational establishments and academic institutions at the university level, as well as through the intellectual expertise already gathered in Scotland here. What I was hoping to hear a little bit more about, and that was very, very well provided by the speaker in response to my question, was what are we doing with the much younger groups in helping understand their current knowledge of water and climate, solutions and challenges. And this is an area that I do think is very important, and I was very pleased with the response. This is extremely important, as the chair of the board of the Alliance for Water Stewardship remarked. There will be a time when we are no longer the managers and the stewards of water, but the next generation. This is an area in which my personal hope would be to be able to have this capacity development going on in tandem with the current group of professional development. This is an arena in which, when we talk about moving from analog approaches to digital, this current very young group of cohorts will be best placed to deliver on that. They will have much swifter ways of engaging as global citizens. they will have a natural tendency to move toward technology and identify voices, peers, and counterparts in the global south as well as literally beside them here in Scotland. And I think this is an arena in which all the partners, public sector, private, as well as civil society, as we've discussed this morning, can be both conveners as well as learners in that space.